What's going on, everybody? Good morning. Happy Monday. Game day Monday in more ways than one. By the way, I know I look a little bit weird on the face cam. For some reason, my webcam settings reset and I can't get them back, but I don't know. This might kind of look better. I'm not sure. Let me know what you guys think. You think the new face cam is better than the old one, or did you like the old one better? Just kind of change the tone and texture, I think, a little bit. But anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about what promises to be. This is going to be a very difficult day for Seattle sports fans, and that is regardless of the outcome tonight. That is regardless of what actually transpires in these games tonight. So I'm going to talk about it for a few minutes here, just try to figure out how I'm going to cover it because obviously I want to cover both sides, but it's going to be a little bit tricky. Be right back. 60 seconds on Sleeper. All right, guys, let's take a minute so I can tell you guys about Sleeper. I'll tell you a little secret as well. It's more than just a platform for fantasy leagues. This year, millions of users have enjoyed playing fantasy sports on Sleeper, but there's so much more to it. You have live stats, real-time updates of all stats. You have a news feed with lightning-fast updates on players and teams, and a real-time chat where you can engage with other users about plays, performances, games, all kinds of stuff during the sports season. So download Sleeper, experience it for yourself, and don't forget to use my promo code SBN to get up to a $100 match on your first deposit, and pair that with their new promo that will give you a free $20 entry, no deposit needed. So you can use both of those promos. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operational in over 25 states and going. So check out Sleeper today and use those promos. All right, welcome back. So I think most of you guys probably know what's going on tonight. Tonight is going to be one of the busiest days in Seattle sports history. We do have a Kraken game at like 4, I think. I'm not here to talk about that. There is a Kraken game tonight, though, just to kind of toss it on the top of the big pileup we have going on tonight. And I think the Kraken are off to a pretty good start this year. I don't actually know, but I think they're doing good. So maybe some of you guys will care about that. I don't. But here's what I do care about. Obviously, we've got the Seahawks tonight. They kick off at 7 p.m., which is not fun. There's nothing remotely fun about a 7 p.m. kickoff, although probably less fun for our opponent than it is for us, because for them it's going to feel like it's like 9 p.m. So I guess we're better off than them. So we got that. But most of you guys probably know that is not all that we have. We have this. The Seattle Mariners play probably the biggest game in franchise history against the Toronto Blue Jays in Toronto, Game 7. And that game starts 2 hours, less than 2 hours before kickoff with the Texans and Seahawks. So you've got at 5:08 p.m. first pitch for probably the biggest game in Seattle Mariner franchise history. A game to decide who goes to the World Series. A game that will either pay off or not pay off one of the best seasons in Mariners franchise history. And by the way, don't get me wrong. This has been a great season regardless of what happens tonight. But obviously, the big payoff is due tonight. Either you make the World Series for the first time ever or you don't. But you've got that, and then a couple hours later, like less than 2 hours later, you're going to have this, an important Seahawks-Texans game. I'm not going to put it on the same level as the Mariners game, of course. This is a regular season game between not even conference rivals, right? The Texans they're an AFC team. So you wouldn't put this on the same level as you would this game. But at the same time, this is still football. This is still the sport that most of us are really into. This is the sport that most of us are really here for. And baseball, I mean, I think there's a wide range of takes here. I think that some people on my channel, if you're on this channel, you probably like football. It'd be very weird if you watched my channel and you didn't like football. But Um, Not everybody on my channel is going to be into baseball. Some people might be into baseball, but it's very casual. Some people might not even be Mariners fans. There might be some Blue Jays fans within the Seahawks fans on my channel. So, I mean, if you're a Blue Jays fan, then of course this game is very important to you as well. You probably weren't even alive the last time Toronto went to the World Series, so it feels like it means as much to them as it was to us. Anyway, I'm kind of going all over the place here. The point I'm trying to make is that this is not what I was hoping for. I was not hoping for the Mariners and Seahawks to be playing across from each other tonight, where, look, I'm a football channel. I'm Seahawks Brendan Nelson. Of course, I am going to prioritize talking about the football game. But I am going to want to say something about this too, and I think most people on this channel are going to want me to say something about it because people like the Mariners stuff. I think that I have noticed that, especially now that the team has gotten into the postseason, now that the team has actually had some success, people appreciate a little bit of Mariners coverage on the channel. So I want to provide that, but it's a little bit awkward, right? Because odds are good this game is going to end probably a little before halftime in the Seahawks game, and that's just not ideal, right? There's no way this game is going to be over by the time the Seahawks game starts, unless it's a giant blowout, I guess. I mean, that would be nice if the game's just over by the third inning because the Mariners are up by 15 runs. Okay, that's one thing, but that's pretty unlikely. So I think what we're going to have to do tonight, and obviously this is not the ideal, this is not my preference, but I think what we're going to have to do is, this game starts, I'm going to be watching it 5:08 p.m. first pitch, and I'm just going to watch it. I'm going to see what happens. By the way, I don't have a ton to say about the game that I'm going to say in this video. Obviously, you don't feel great about the way the pitching has been with the Mariners lately. Like, the only pitcher that they've had recently that has been reliable has been Miller, which is the deepest of ironies. But at the same time, we know that these guys are capable of having a very good game just happen randomly because these are very good pitchers. It's not like George Kirby's a bad pitcher. He's just pitched poorly in a couple of, well, really one recent outing. And we know that it is possible to put up some serious runs in that Toronto stadium. We've done it. We did it last week in Game 2. So my thinking is that this game should end sometime around 8 o'clock. And obviously there are some variables in there based on how many runs are scored, how much action we get in terms of like hits and how long innings take to get through. If you have a lot of like 5-pitch innings, then it's going to be quick, but the game is probably going to end sometime a little after 8 o'clock. So about that time, the Seahawks-Texans game should be getting to about halftime. So Seahawks-Texans gets to halftime, and hopefully at that point, this game is over. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run downstairs real quick, watch the first half, whatever's left of the first half of the Seahawks-Texans game, and I'll find a way to flick back and forth. I think you guys know how to do it. You flip back and forth, and you find a way to watch both games at the same time. And whenever Texans-Seahawks goes to halftime, I'll run downstairs, I'll make a video and talk about whatever happens in this Game 7. And that video should take like 10 minutes for me to record and then upload, and that way I'll have something getting up on YouTube right after this Mariners game ends. And that's if we win or if we lose. Whatever my initial snap reaction to whatever happens tonight is, I just want to get something up because I can't do it after the game, right? Because after the Seahawks game is over, it's going to be like 10 p.m. It might be 10:30, somewhere between 10 and 10:30. And I have to go live on Bleacher Report, like right after. So I'm going live on Bleacher basically as soon as this game goes final, so I can't make a Mariners video before then. And then I stream over on Bleacher Report for about half an hour, and then I got to make a post-game video for the Seahawks game for YouTube. By the time that's all done, it's already like 11:30, And I don't want to be uploading my Mariners thoughts right after I upload the Seahawks postgame, right? I don't want to jump all over the postgame video with an upload right after it. Like, I'm going to want to let that thing breathe overnight. And then I have to start making a video for Bleacher Report the next morning. And I might stream on YouTube tonight talking about the Seahawks game. I know it's going to be really late, but I might do it anyway. And then I'm going to have to get videos ready for the next day about the Seahawks. And by the time I would get the opportunity to talk about the Mariners, it'd be over. I mean, the game will have been over for over 12 hours at that point. And I think that part of the fun is that you capture the initial reaction to a game as monstrous as this one. And I think that if I were to record and upload a video 12 hours after the game goes final, you're not going to capture any of that. You're not going to capture the emotions. You're not going to capture the feeling. You're not going to capture the... It's just not going to be the same. So this is the only way I can really get something up after the game ends. So I think that's going to be the way we do it. And if this game goes into extra innings, if the Mariners and Blue Jays goes into extras, and by the way, I really can't handle that. So I really hope that doesn't happen. Number one, because I don't think I can take a road extra inning game 7. I just living in terror for every single time there's a pitch in the bottom of the inning. I don't want to deal with that. But if that happens and the game ends up going long and the game isn't over by halftime of the Seahawks-Texans game, then I don't really know what I'm going to do. It's just going to be a car crash of a night, and we're just going to have to try to get through it. But I want to assure people this is a football channel, and I'm going to treat it as such as we go through the night. And if that means I have to upload a Mariners post-mortem or a Mariners reaction to going to the World Series the next day when it's like in the afternoon or even in the evening, then so be it. I understand that not everybody here on this channel is here for the Mariners stuff. This is just kind of a fun side thing that I do because I do like baseball and I do like this team, but I understand that a lot of people are not going to be here for that. So that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. And I'll have something to say about whatever happens. If we get blown out, if we do the blowing out, if it's close, I'll say something. But I'm hoping to be able to do it at halftime of Texans Seahawks. That way, when Texans Seahawks is done, I can just focus on talking about Texans Seahawks for the rest of the night and then the next day after. I really don't want to have to save Mariner stuff until tomorrow when it's going to be cold anyway. Okay, so that's basically a rundown. And yeah, let me know if you guys think I look better than I did before in the face cam or if I look worse. Let me know. And talk to you guys later today. I'll make a practice squad video whenever we get some word from the team who we're promoting. Maybe that'll give us a clue of who's actually going to play and who's not. And yeah, that's about it. Sorry for the longer than typical video, but tonight's going to be crazy, so I wanted to really break that down a little bit and discuss why I'm thinking about things the way that I am. All right. Everybody have a great day. Tonight will be stressful no matter what. I think we can all agree on that. Even if it ends up being a great day, it'll be stressful to get there. So not looking forward to it, but looking forward to a potentially good conclusion. All right. Go Hawks, go Mariners. See you guys later.